Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dungeons Developer Insights. I am joined by uh, Linabelle from Strimtom Games. Welcome back to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me here.
And today we are going to be designing not a class or a tree or any of that weird stuff, but today a race, the kobold. Now, kobold is exciting. It's an important part of Dungeons and Dragons because they're literally everywhere. So when you think kobold race, what do you think are like some of the hallmark things that need to get hit when you're designing a race like that for like players? They have expectations. So are you the kind of person who scours the forums looking for information to see what people are thinking about, or are you kind of like a traditionalist, like go to the source material, go to the handbook, or do you have your own ideas? Where does that kind of start?
Well, when it comes to things that have visuals, we are we go through our licensure for a lot of different steps of the process. But for things like races and classes, visuals are very, very important to get and nail down early, so we're 100% sure we're not making something that isn't actually up to the standard.
Yeah.
Um, so for this though, we're really in luck because we actually have kobolds already in the game. That Wizards of the Coast, they're totally fine.
Mhm.
So for a race like this in which there's already art, then I guess the what we would have having to do is make sure it's up to our newer art standards. Like we're like it's like our the current kobold doesn't have a lot of animations. It's real small.
Yeah.
Probably can't have a player attached to it and stuff like that. So make sure that our kobold is up to our current art standards. Make sure because it's like players already kind of know how they look and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, this is definitely one of those things in which we want to stick as close to the source material as possible.
Right.
Um, like this is it's definitely more of a like we're trying to bring a book to life rather than trying to bring player expectations to life.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
but I would also say that for a race like Kobold, voice acting is pretty much a must. So I think that Kobold should definitely talk the same way that sentient weapons do.
But
Um,
only to you or to everyone in your party. So when you have a
only
kobold,
I
you
would
know.
say only to you, because otherwise it just gets really annoying.
Hmm.
So exactly like sentience work, I think that would be another really interesting angle.
Okay,
And I
that's
don't
cool.
think kobolds should wear gear. Uh, that's those are my big things.
Kobolds shouldn't wear gear.
Yeah, I
That
don't think
second
they
one seems a
should.
lot more involved than the first one. I think most people can get behind like the talking and maybe having a setting in the options somewhere to turn it off. But
I mean, the setting, turn it off.
yeah,
I
it's like
don't know
rune arm
about that.
noises or sentient weapons.
Well, I guess it's one of those things we can maybe be convinced. But if I'm doing kobold as I would say DDO was really intended, then no, they will talk to you no matter what. But that's okay.
Okay,
I can be wrong. I can be overruled.
no, for sure. Unarmed, un like when you say unarmored, do you mean like no armor or no equipment like at all?
I don't know. I think it's one of those
Just have
things that we
no
could
item slots.
probably. I mean, what if they just don't have item slots at all? I think that would be a really interesting challenge mode. Maybe I don't know.
Easier design for sure. There's no item
Easy
slots in a
design.
kobold. Like, oh, what item should I use? Don't.
Yeah,
No.
none.
Yeah.
Um, but what's probably going to happen is just like most good decisions in EDO is that people overrule my ideas and come to a more reasonable conclusion. Um, so even though maybe not wearing gear is what I would want, maybe they should just maybe not wear helmets or something because
Hmm.
like they do wear hats. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think that for me, where I came at this is I thought about like what kobolds represent in the video game. So when you fight kobolds, you got kobolds that just like look what they are on screen right now. They just attack you. They don't got weapons or whatever. You have
Mm.
kobold throwers where they got the little backpacks and they got the little throwing sticks. You have kobold warriors with their spears and what have you, and then you have the kobold shamans. So I'm like, what if when you make your kobold, sort of like how as an Azamar you pick like your type of Azamar that you make, like your fallen or your protector, you have the four different categories of kobold, and then when you pick one of those categories, you're either like a scavenger, a warrior, a thrower, or a shaman, and that determines some of the base stats on your character and some of the stuff in the
No,
tree.
that makes sense. I would definitely want to put shaman on its own as an iconic. Um, that seems like the kobold shaman sorcerer kind of dealio. Um,
Maybe we can get behind that.
no, that's a really good idea. Man, I'm thinking about gear again. It might be better rather than just making them not work gear at all, is if they hold weapons differently than other races, because they are small size and every other race is medium size if you have.
Yep.
Um, I think halflings and gnomes in 3.5 are small.
They are small, yep.
Okay, well, maybe kobolds are extra small. No, what if they treated one-handed weapons as if they were two-handed, and then can't use two-handed weapons, and that's their thing.
That would
So
be
they just
very interesting. Except anything, and then probably weapons that are like of the light category count as one-handed.
and then weapons of the heavy category count as two-handed. So like you could take the same feats as everybody else, but how they use them are totally different.
Yeah, so they could still use a longsword, but it would be a two-handed longsword for them.
Yes, and they would take two-handed feats for a longsword.
This is a very, very interesting idea. I don't know if it's a
Yep,
good idea, but it sounds really cool.
it'd be really cool. I think that that's probably a more fair way of emphasizing their size and difference than just making them not use gear at all.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Handedness.
hmm.
I like handedness. Or small-handedness. Okay, that's a great idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, small-handedness. That's
Can't
solid.
use two-handed weapons. Heavy weapons are two-handed. Light weapons are one-handed.
All right, let's think about stats here. I'm pretty sure kobolds get penalties to all their stats.
Kobolds, penalties. All they get penalties to most of them.
Yeah, like
Let's see. They're not very strong. They can climb walls backwards, so they're probably pretty dexterous.
yeah, I think they have +2 dexterity according to 3.5, +2 dex, -4 strength, -2 con. So like that's probably what we're gonna do, like rules is written.
Yeah, sounds fine. Yeah, they have to have a bonus to dex. They can jump up walls backwards, and they use a scepter like a quarterstaff. Yeah, the scepters and clubs would both be quarterstaffs, effectively.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they have
This makes
any
sense.
other real bonuses that cross over.
Yeah.
Um, except that they are actually canonically weak to light. Like they, no joke, actually have a light weakness.
Well, yeah, but so do drow. But what are you gonna do?
I think they could just take 5% more light damage, and that would be it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're gonna work on the
Um,
minuses first. Um,
there's a lot of minuses. Like there's the kobold is not a good time.
Kobolds shouldn't use boots. I mean, they look at those feet.
Kobolds shouldn't use boots.
I'm kind of okay with the idea, especially since DDO has been moving farther and farther away from the paradigm of boots are speed. There's a lot of non-boot speed items all over DDO.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me thinks that either they should have like completely wonky gear or they should just use gear as normal and have the weapon thing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's like shifters have and Dragonborn have exposed feet, but are still allowed to wear boots.
Well, then you have to be
Um,
consistent, yeah. And they already have the small-handedness thing, which can be a blessing or a curse. I have no idea.
I'm sure it's going to be great for maybe a few particular builds and terrible for all other contexts.
Yeah, -4 strength is kind of that's a problem.
Hey, that's what the player's handbook says.
So, how would you feel then about that idea of when you pick a kobold, you pick either a scavenger kobold, a warrior kobold, or a thrower kobold?
I actually don't know if those should be hard choices or that we should just try and exemplify those things in the tree. Like, put that kind of stuff in the tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only reason I was asking
Um,
is because sort of like how you know how when you pick like your dragon breath as a dragonborn, you pick the one that's based on the color that you picked, like your heritage.
mm,
You would have like, or like how the shifter gets a different howl based on the kind of howl. I don't
yeah.
know. I'm thinking. I just feel like because that's been happening with a lot of races. It could also still be a good idea to just have that instead be something like you build in the tree, so you build towards it. I guess.
I guess in my mind, when I'm thinking about the type of Dragonborn you are, that is supposed to represent your draconic heritage, which is something that you can't necessarily change.
True. Yeah.
And a kobold can simply change professions. Like they can go back to school and go to the
Yeah.
throwing
Go to the throwing
classes.
academy. Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the throwing classes, they get their throwing degree, and then there's no problem. You know what I mean? Like So I actually don't have a problem with letting them respec far easily, because
Okay,
that's really
that
what
makes sense.
those feats represent, is that an ease of like change, um,
So
and
we
like I'm
could do
okay
something
with
like that, but it would be like in the tree as opposed to in the race.
yeah, I think it's just let them choose.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the Kobold Throwing Academy.
Yeah, Kobold Throwing Academy. I like these as a really good thrower because we don't really have we have sort of halfling, but like
Hmm.
I really think that a kobold thrower would be an extremely cool niche that we could build towards.
How do you think it would be physically possible to have the kobolds have a throwing stance that gives them stats, but it causes all their thrown weapons to follow the arc?
Yes, yes, it would, and I actually know exactly where in the scripts that would be. It's like it's driven by the weapon, but we could intercept that.
Yeah, so instead you have the kobold thrower stance, which makes you the thrower, but then you throw, you have to like you arc all your shots in like how the kobolds actually do it.
Yep. Throws in an arc. Definitely make that a stance. They can turn it off.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
what are their great kobold ideas?
Definitely gotta have some shinies in there.
Yeah, I do like the idea of having a backwards jump of some kind that they can do, like an action, not an action boost, but you know how there's like the
Mm.
backwards jump in Primal Avatar.
Backflips several times.
Yeah, but instead of like several times, it's like once.
Yeah. I think those abilities that make you do that are a little weird, but like no weirder than making you do it forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like they're just as janky. No, I could see that. Backwards hop out of danger. Um,
yeah. These are some good ideas.
and I think that it would be cool to have a grudge system.
A grudge system. Okay, so what does that
Yes.
work? How does this?
I think it would be cool if Kobold, one of the things in the Kobold tree,
Yeah.
would be for you to remember what has last killed you, and then get a bonus against whatever has last killed you until like you die again.
This is
So
very
like
interesting.
yes, so for example, if you are killed by a like a zombie or something,
Yeah,
until you die again, you get bonuses against zombies.
very cool. How would you feel about like, you have your whole raid. That's all kobolds, obviously, because this is a real scenario. You have your whole raid,
Yes.
all kobolds, go into Too Hot to Handle, and they die to a Forge Wraith, and then they reset the raid, and then they go run the raid now with their Forge Wraith bonuses.
Oh, that makes sense. I think thematically, what that is very much like I remember you from last time, kind of dealio. And yeah, that's I feel like that thematically would be really cool to bring in.
Oh yeah, sure, sounds good to me. But do we put the talking in here? They need to talk as
uh,
well.
yeah, definitely voice acting,
Yeah, the whole class needs to be voice acted.
very important. The entire class needs to be voice acted.
Yeah, and it's got to and it's there's got to be a lot. Like it's like, oh, they
Oh
get
yeah,
low health, they get medium health, they get 3/4 health, full health.
yes.
Now,
Uh,
Now
yeah.
what else was this kobold do? So even like I'm just trying to think of the whole extension. There's the other aspect of kobolds in that there are the kobolds that believe they're or that are like they side with dragons directly. There's the Paragon kobolds in the game that
Mhm.
have special combat moves. They got the full plating, the full armors. Um, do you think that there should be any connection? I guess obviously it would depend story as to how kobolds exist in DDO, but do you think that there should be an interaction with something like that? Like how Azamar has an ascendant bond, there's like a Paragon Kobold enhancement or something that just does I don't know what it does, but there's physically Paragon Kobolds in game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or maybe
Part of me
even
thinks
go ahead.
that part of me thinks that a lot of these bonuses should be under some sort of like profession thing, and then there's like the capstone that's like if you were a kobold sneak, now you are a kobold thief, or like if you were a kobold scrapper, now you're a paragon kobold warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that makes sense. As far as like draconic heritage is concerned, um, I honestly genuinely think that that should just straight up be in the like the racial bonuses is they get -1 to hit dragons, and that's literally it. Like
Yes, I like it.
yeah.
They should also have a minus on saves versus fear.
That's true. They are
Because
very
they're
fair. All right.
yeah. Kobold always hates you. You
Bad.
get a death bonus against your selected enemy. It could be called Kobold always hates you, or Kobold don't forget.
Yes.
Uh,
Bad versus fear. Don't want to purge dragons.
yeah,
Sad face. There we go.
these are some reasonable ideas. So then, what do you? I guess is a lot of it the last several races. In fact, all of them except for Tiefling have had a heritage that they've been able to choose. This would be a heritage-less race then.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly think that I would prefer Kobold to be very much a race that you could take in anything without needing to like respect feats and stuff like that.
Sure, that makes sense.
Like given the situation, and really what those beat bonuses represent is how easy it is to respect between quests. And I kind of want players to be able to feel incentivized to play all the types of kobolds
Yeah.
rather than feeling forced to choose at the very beginning.
Hmm.
Oh, they have a Dark 6 religion.
Oh, new religion, the Dark Six. That's so smart. Great job. Yeah, because there's
That's a great
special
idea.
religions for all different races, so why not?
That's a great idea. So this would only be if you choose a divine class with this base race.
Hmm.
Like they don't get it automatically.
Yeah.
But in the same way that you can pick Volcor only if you're a Drow, you can pick the Dark 6 only if you are a Kobold.
Okay, so we have to create that religion.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
Off
be
the
too
top
bad.
of your head, do you know what the favorite enemy or the favorite weapon for the Dark 6?
The Dark Six? Well, there's many different members of the Dark Six. So, like the most prominent that we encounter in game or like the of worship is like the Devourer. So
Hmm.
I don't think there would be one individual one. Um, that is a great question. I assume I actually don't even know who the Dark Six are.
The Devourer is one of them. That's correct. Favorite
Yeah.
weapon is a trident, so we can't do that. The Fury, the Rapier, which is the Keeper, the Scythe, the Mockery, which we do have mentions of, is Kama.
Yep.
The Shadow is Quarterstaff. The Traveler is Scimitar. So everything except for Trident, I think we can do.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to do the Mockery because that doesn't really fit well with what they would do.
Mhm.
The Fury.
They're really the Devourer based, which is unfortunate because that's the one we can't.
It's the one we can't do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but you could call it just because there is sort of how there's the Sovereign Host,
Lord Host.
and it just
Yeah.
has Longsword jammed in there.
Yeah.
The Dark Six.
The Dark Sith, oh my gosh, the Dark 6, we pick Scythe, and they hold it like a sickle, like a two-handed thing.
Uh
That's
oh,
why that's the
because
choice.
it's two-handed for kobolds, so sickles are different. They're actually two-handed weapons. Wait, they're light
Yes.
weapons though.
It doesn't matter. We'll just say that you hold it like they just except for a sickle if you're holding a Dark 6 and it turns into a two-hander.
Okay, so
Or maybe that'll be the level 6 thing.
is sickles that you hold are to now considered two-handed?
Yes, in the same way that Sylvanas has a toggle rather than an active ability.
Yeah.
The Dark 6 religion Scythe level 6 ability. You hold sickles as if they...
Imagine kobold having not being able to use quarterstaffs, but having it as a favorite weapon. Yes, that is a hilarious problem.
Yes, that's why I'm picking Scythe, because you could totally hold a Scythe.
Isn't there heavy sickles? Not in DDO.
Yeah.
There is also a two-handed sickle, but that one that doesn't count.
Yeah, I believe I broke that in half for I think it was killing time.
I hate that weapon so much.
I know.
I keep
Everyone
getting
does, I'm very
offhands,
happy.
and I can't use them because I don't have a main hand.
I'm sorry.
I've never pulled the main hand. I have like 4 offhands.
I mean, they definitely drop, right? Like I didn't just put offhand in twice.
No, they do drop. I just never have gotten one. I have the
Okay.
the runes. I could just get it, but yeah.
Okay, I was really nervous that that was a 4-year-old mistake there.
Okay, that's a
Uh,
great idea. So I love this idea. That's cool.
plus bonuses to crit like. So this is like their Sylvanas experience.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Sylvanas, but with sickles, and it also makes them two-handed.
Yeah.
And they have cool animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would make sense. Other important things that would fit in here. Threat reduction is going to be in the tree.
Oh yeah. They're really small. That ability should definitely be called "Don't Hurt Me." There we
Yeah.
go.
Um,
Just put that somewhere in there.
would they have something in the tree that would let them move either through combat because they're small? They just go between people's legs.
Yes. Part of me thinks that should just be part of the Kobold base package here.
Oh, so kobolds can
Um,
just move through monsters.
yeah, probably. I think that's what small size actually lets you do. Like rules is written, you can
Okay,
occupy a square.
sounds good. That's a
Uh,
good idea because they already have a lot of minuses.
yeah,
Their weapons are goofy.
yeah. That's the thing is that they've got a lot of downsides. So we want to give them some weird upsides. Man, move.
Yeah, this is all good.
Yep.
And large size
Um,
creatures. Yeah, but this is DDO. It's a video game.
unless they're tiny or small. Okay, so it's only with large size creatures. Well, what if they could always tumble through enemies? Meet in the middle.
I'm
I'm honestly okay with giving them more weird nonsense to make up for the fact that like stats as written, they are terrible at
yeah.
almost everything, and they have bad weapons. Oh, so I kind of want to give them more weird bonuses to make up for that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I also like the idea of there being, as opposed to like some type of bonus for having more kobolds nearby, like an action boost that makes other kobolds stronger or something like that.
Um, yeah, button that makes kobolds friendly. Or maybe simply kobolds won't target you, like literally by default.
Oh yeah, they automatically will aggro to somebody else first, or like an always working diplomacy on kobolds.
Yeah, kobolds will not aggro on you unless damaged.
Oh man,
Like
so you could just walk through some harbor quests and the kobolds won't even aggro.
correct.
Very neat.
And like honestly, that's in my mind. That's actually kind of fine because it's like, oh wow, you can fight through some level 2 quests and stuff like that. But like that stops working at level 4, and then you do not have any other kobold quests until the one at level 15 with creeping death, and that's it.
And you have to kill all those
Like,
anyway. The doors won't open.
yeah, that's a good point.
Stealthy
That's
repossession? Yeah, don't that's the whole point of this. That is very stealthy. It is a stealthy
it's just,
repossession. They don't know you're
no
going
one
to
would
steal it.
expect kobolds
Yeah, no one would
to
suspect
go
it.
into a kobold. It's perfect.
Yeah, seems good. Okay, other just throwing everything at the wall. Other good ideas for kobolds.
Yeah. Kobolds have a higher jump cap. We don't want to do that because you can start breaking out of content. Like you
Yeah.
could just like leave the game and walk in between parts of the game where we don't need you. We really don't want players to be outside of the playable space.
Hmm. Trying to think what else would be good. Other good kobold abilities.
Pack tactics. They get bonuses for other kobolds in the party. That makes sense. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit that in, but
I feel like since the kobolds live in the sewers, they could also have like an immunity to the stench effect from troglodytes.
probably yeah. Um,
Increased movement speed midair. That sounds weird.
I don't even know how we do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what that. I don't know. I don't know how we'd even do that.
Yeah, they're stank proof. Exactly.
All
Okay.
right. We can start parceling this out. Like, let's say like kobold race, and then like
Yeah, just grab the stats there. That sounds good.
immune to.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff can kind of be grabbed. Just make them immune to the latrine and the Droam quest. Well, yeah, because it's immune. It's a stench thing. Because what's that debuff called? The stench debuff, where you get like
Oh,
-2 charisma and a whole bunch of other stuff.
I think it's called the unspeakable or something. Like it's pretty alluded to.
Yeah, they're immune to that, so that's great.
All right. Don't want to hurt dragons. They must want to hit in damage versus dragons. I think this is like the base race, or
Yeah.
Uh,
And then they get all the small size bonus stuff, which I'm assuming would be stuff like, +1 armor class and +1 other stuff. Whatever the small size bonus stuff is.
yeah.
I can just copy the block in from one of the other small races.
Yes.
I love the idea of like enemy kobolds literally just don't aggro onto you.
Yes, I actually really like the idea that there are certain dungeons in which literally you could just send a kobold party member in to do a whole bunch of stuff. Um, all right, I'm gonna press enter a few times so it's all on one page here.
Sure.
Make this bold and a little bit bigger. Also, I'll say to you, unless you have been damaged, you hold weapons differently
Okay.
because of your small size.
Isn't starting with 4 strength impossible? No, it's very possible with this. How horrible would that be?
How horrible would what be?
Starting with a 4 strength?
I mean, I just used to have to not become exhausted and never fight shadows.
Yeah, don't fight
So
shadows. Bad idea. Bad idea.
don't do 'em.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and they also have reduced carrying capacity at 3/4. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like this. We never said that we're making Kobold a really good race, the best race ever. You get to play as a lizard person that talks to you constantly. Literally constantly. It's constantly yelling at you about stuff. Like every time you loot a chest, yes, Kobold love money.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to build in is that they probably want a temporary bonus whenever they loot something from a treasure chest,
Oh, yeah.
depending on what it was.
They get like a morale bonus to something. Passive called Pack Rat that takes away the capacity penalty. Ooh, that's a great idea for the.
Oh, how about this? Your carrying capacity is based on your dex score instead of your strength. Like literally, they do it with dex instead.
Well, that would be an enhancement though. Like that should be selectable. You don't want to
Oh,
specialize into
really?
that. Yeah, why not?
Rather than oh yeah, okay.
I would rather that be like a selectable because it's something you have to like. So you know how Warforged you have to get the healer's friend, and it's like annoying.
Mhm.
You have to like fix it. This would be something where you're like you can fix it, but you got to go
All
in the
right.
tree. Yeah,
Um,
get a backpack to increase the capacity in the quiver slot. Yeah, this is a good race. So it's got bonus to hide checks, bonus to attack rolls, better racial stats. This is such a wordy race. Oh my god.
yeah, there's a lot going on here. Like there's a lot going on. But like in my mind, if we ever did want to do kobolds, we would really want them to play totally different than other non-monster races.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what our real goal would be. You know, if we're building something like that, is we would want them to be so totally different that it would be like a whole different game.
Yeah. So this is the Dark 6. I can do the religion here if you want.
Sure.
Another thing I was wondering is since we're on the same vein of like making it totally different, outside of just the religion, we already have the weapon interaction. Is there any other equipment interaction that you'd want to change?
I don't know. Could kobolds have two trigger slots? That's really interesting. Um, like if they had like their slots messed up, like honestly, this would be functionally impossible in DDO. Like just letting you know, this is like not how DDO works. Would be terrible. But if what if instead of like gloves and boots, they just had like 3 trinket slots? You know what I mean? Like we just
Mm-hmm.
start messing with what they're allowed to equip, so they still have the same total number, but it's all over the place.
Yeah, sounds
Does
good.
that make sense?
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
All right, let me. I'm actually gonna put this in bullet points real quick, just so it's a little less
Sure.
weird. I can't see where this is supposed to be. There we go.
Bullet points.
Over down. Not
Bullet.
good.
Oh, paste that formatting. No formatting. Follower of the Dark 6. You're proficient with sickles. You're always proficient with sickles. And gain +1 to hit with them. This is the second sickle religion. I'm assuming that's fine though, because it's supposed to be like a dark sickle.
Yeah, like the other ones are like also kind of doubly uppy. Rapier doesn't really make any sense, I would say, from a kobold perspective, and I really want the idea of a dark, like a two-handed scythe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
I think that's worth there being a double up, and like if we keep adding religions, we're gonna have to double up anyway.
Right. All items that are precious metals give a morale bonus. Oh man, when you loot an item that is made out of a non-standard material, you get a bonus.
I really like that. I really like a temporary buff when you loot something, and I want to expand upon that. I want there to be this is like an enhancement, like a tier 4 or something like that, and whenever you loot anything, depending on the type of thing you loot, like if it's gold versus arrows versus an equipable object, you know what I mean, versus gems, I want it to give you a stacking buff that like ticks down over time. You know what I mean? So you're incentivized to get as much treasure as possible for
So you're
statistical
doing all the
purposes.
optionals as you go through quests.
Yes.
And you can't. You don't want to try.
I mean, they can last through shrines because like treasure and shrine are often at the same place.
That makes sense.
All right. So they are a dex race, like no matter what, and I think that's okay not adding anything to that. So this should just be like +1 dex for like core 4 and core 11. Like they're just gonna have that. All right. This is a chunky base race.
Yeah, there's so much in the base race, but like I said, no boots or gloves, but you get 2 trinkets, so you have to be really screwy. They lose an entire item slot.
No, 2 additional trinket slots.
So,
So
2 additional, so you just get 3
additional...
trinkets. Oh crap! For a total of 3.
So like, yeah, I want them to be so totally different upon every axis that if you're playing a kobold, not only are you playing a different game on the itemization side, but you're playing a different game like gameplay wise, if that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. What is the name of the feat where you get the sickle bonuses?
Oh, the two-hander one? It should probably be something like, if we were being really boring, it would be like Blessings of the Dark Six. Because that's like, they're all called like Blessing of Sylvanas, you know what I mean? Or Blessing of whatever, you know what I mean? I don't think we have to get too fancy with this.
Okay. So kobolds can't use the wall watch set. Kobolds can't use basically every set in Sharn.
There's a lot of things that kobolds can't do. I'll be quite honest
Literally
with you.
all the Sharn sets, all the good ones you can't use. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. But they could use hella Feywild sets with all those trinkets.
Yeah, so it's like it depends on which set you're really going for, and like, you know, Sharn sets aren't always going to be on the top, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And they gain a +4 something. It's not a natural armor bonus. That would make no sense. Dark 6.
+4 size bonus to AC. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be AC. Dark 6. +4 Dark 6.
+4 do +3 saves versus magic or something.
Sure.
No, I dropped a ring.
That sounds good.
All right. Well, I start wanting to fill out some tier 4s here because I've got some terrible ideas.
Oh, some of the tier 4s? Oh, perfect.
Oh yeah. So we got shinies. Lingering bonus. When you loot items, this bonus changes depending.
I don't even know how that's still alive. Most set trinkets are raid. Well, yeah. So go do raid on your kobolds, dude. What about making it?
Yeah, like kobolds gotta be in raids all the time. Like always be raiding. ABR. Like
yeah.
Gotta get in there.
There's lots of treasure in raids. There's not a lot of side chests though. Oh yeah. Man, kobolds would love to go run Tempest Spine and loot all those chests and get all the stats, and just go slap Swordjack back in time.
All right, we should definitely have a tier 3 backwards hop. I'm just throwing that in there.
Yeah, we need a backwards hop. I was thinking actually, what if because we were talking about the idea of your koboldness, like the different abilities you would get. What if the
Mhm.
left side of the tree is your kobold? You choose your specialization as your kobold, so you can respec that. So you would have like a scrapper, a thrower, or whatever. So if you pick the thrower, you get like the toggle. If you pick the scrapper, you get, and they're connected. Or do you rather just have them unconnected?
I kind of like the idea of this is going to be super duper weird. If you as a kobold can stack up different roles. So like maybe there's a tier 3 that's like kobold thrower and then you toggle it on, but you can be a kobold thrower and also take like kobold scrapper 1, 2, and 3 for sneak dice.
Okay.
Um
So
like you can kind of be the kobold is what I'm saying. Like the kobold to end all kobolds.
I see. I see. Okay.
We'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, we can just drag and drop and put
Yeah.
things into a different place.
Well, I was gonna say, what if there was two lines and they're all fully
All right.
disconnected, but one is passives and one is actives, and so you can mix and match.
Okay. Okay. Trying to think of how that would work.
I have no idea. I'm making stuff up on the spot.
No idea. All right.
Yeah. Chamber of Rayum. Yeah, all the chests. You can be super kobold. Uh huh.
Yes. All right. I'm putting some
Oh
other
yeah.
stuff in the tree here. Just to get ideas out of this. I definitely want to have a line of sneak attack dice. Like I actually think we should just like straight up like
Sure. Um. Oh, expire upon leaving an adventure.
yes.
I don't think it should just stack based on playtime.
Correct. That should be like a per adventure thing. I think that's a really fair way of doing it. So it's like you'd actually kind of rearrange your order of when you would go for certain things if you're trying to like fight a difficult boss.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
All right. Threw some sneak attack dice in there. What else do kobolds even do?
Well, let's look at what we wrote down. Grudge
Yeah.
system's got to be in there.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta put the grudge system. That's probably pretty early. We're gonna put this right here, and that should be just
Yeah, I'm just gonna give them the old strike through
kobold
the stuff that we
remembers. Yeah.
did. Oh, what's the strike through command?
Oh, it's in like format. You have to go all the way to format and then text and then strike through or Alt Shift 5.
Or format text. Oh yeah, format text. Alt Shift 5. Alt Shift 5.
Yeah, it's a totally intuitive keybind. I would put it right there if I were a Google Docs team. Alt Shift 5 just really rolls off the tongue.
Chinese backwards help. Alt Shift 5. Here we go. Perfect. Tiefling lingerie bonus. Oh, absolutely. I want that on all my male tieflings. That was one of the best parts about Final Fantasy 14 is that I remember I was playing and there was like this leather armor that's like super low level and it's just straight up like this like super tiny leather bikini and I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous. Like I can't believe how they make the characters look like that. And then immediately there's an elf that runs past me, and he is wearing the leather bikini and I'm like, all right, Square Enix, I see your game.
I said I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I
The armor in that game is amazing. They did a great job with it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So what are the moves from the different things? You've got like the Kobold Warriors have that kind of like stabby spin attack where they like jump at you and they spin, sort of like the lunge from Thief Acrobat.
Okay. Or like spring attack.
Yeah, you've got the Kobold Throwers who have their Alchemist Fire potion that like they throw it and then it burns on you and has like an ignite. And you said Shaman is an iconic.
Yeah, I want to save Kobold Shaman for an iconic.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, so this should be a special Kobold active attack move. This would be manage over time or potion or lunge. Right, lunge like sneak it like spring attack. What other kobold moves are there?
I'm trying to think. I said there's the jumping backwards.
Backwards hop could be in there. I like that.
And they would all have different things that they do. They run around you in
Yeah.
a circle. They do sometimes run around you in a circle.
It's classic
Yeah.
kobold behavior.
Mm-hmm. This is gonna sound dumb. Do kobolds get a natural weapon just because they're kobolds? Do they just get claws?
They probably are pretty good at clawing. They might have piercing damage as they're unarmed, like true unarmed.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. They might actually punch you. They bite, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'd have a natural bite attack.
Hmm.
Poisonous? I don't think it would be poisonous.
It's just kind of embarrassing, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like they're not good. All right. There's definitely tier 4. Then with the Yark, this buffs all kobolds near you, friend and foe.
Oh, the whole buffing friend and foe thing is hilarious, coming right off of the shadow tree.
Yeah, like you gotta.
Like,
Yeah, the shadows exactly.
yeah, whose side are you
Although
on?
this one I would say is a little bit more easy to control because how often are you fighting kobolds outside of level 2? And like the 3 other dungeons of the
Just
kobolds
wait
room?
for the raid.
Uh,
Just wait for the raid.
yeah.
Let's see. Poison bite attack? What do they got? Rabies or something?
Yeah, that would be I actually think humans have more of a poisonous bite than a kobold does.
Probably.
Humans are gross. They have gross mouths. Um,
Oh,
like
where does throw stance go? Is throw stance in tier 1 or 2? Tier 2?
tier 2 makes sense. Throw stance.
All right, so
You're...
and we have to figure out why you throw stance because you said there's no real throwing race because you've got halflings which are kind of a throwing race. So what is other than the stupid arc? As somebody who's played the snowball build before, I'm very familiar with the arc and the sunflask build.
All right.
What?
Your throws arc, if they did not already.
Yeah. This also means that it does not work with improved precise shot due to the problematic aspect of the arcing.
That would really mess with that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's because you can't improve precise shot anybody because of the arc. So it's got to do something. That's cool.
How about where your projectiles land, they simply just deal an air like it's a 5 meter square area of effect, like to everybody.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
So you just have like these little AoE bombs. I don't think anyone would complain about that.
Yeah, it's basically like a strike through. Like it's just more attacks of the same area. So all your procs go through because it's just another attack. The same way that strike through is.
Perfect. Strike throw.
Strike throw stance. Yeah.
That's so funny. That's a good one.
Strike throw.
Yeah, strike throw. Okay, that's great. What else do we have in here that we didn't put in? This text block of kobold is so huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of kobold going on. All right, throwing in an arc stance. Hit it with the Alt Shift 5. Let me see if I can get this. Alt Shift 5.
Yeah.
Come on.
Alt Shift 5. Yeah.
Oh nope, that says it's a gray. Is it Control Alt 5?
No, it's Alt Shift 5.
There we go. Okay, we're good.
It's still gray, but
some
that's
weird
fine.
format.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, a reminder to actually put the link of this in the chat so people can do this.
Reminder to put the link in the chat. I'm gonna do that. Hold on. Link in chat.
I remember at the end of every single episode, you are like, "Oh, I forgot to put the link out there."
Hold on. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Threat reduction.
Oh,
we have
yeah,
a don't hurt me.
Definitely. Don't hurt me. That'd be minus probably like 10, 20, 30%. I think it'd be hilarious if kobolds are just the best throwers. Like the best throwers, all of them. Oh, the carrying capacity. This should be... Where does shinies end up? Oh, wrong one. Big sack, and then the shinies requires big sack. There we go.
Got it.
There we go.
All right, so there we go. So now you guys can all look at it if you want, if it's easier to take a look around. So we got the don't hurt me threat reduction. Kobold remembers you. That's great. Yeah, big sack. Exactly, so they can carry whatever they want.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think the rest of this.
of course, when you have big sack, your kobold is constantly going to say, "I'm a triple barrel kobold. I'm a kobold
Obviously,
on the edge."
exactly. Thank
Every
you.
time.
I'm glad one of us has the guts to say those lines out loud. Because
Absolutely. I have
I
no
do
shame.
not.
I have no shame.
I was ready with the eyeliner, but this is beyond me. This is beyond my capabilities.
Um, Pack tactics. Okay, this is gonna sound really dumb. Pack
All right,
tactics. Pack tactics. Bonus to tactic DCs when near other kobolds.
love it. Sounds like a tier 3 to me.
It's pack tactics.
Back tactics. How about this? For each kobold in the same instance, you get
That's
plus
the
one
same
tactical
one.
DC.
That's a line break.
Oh God, is
Or,
it? No, it's nope. Wait, I think we're good.
oh, we're good. Okay, it was on the
We're
line
good.
break.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Whew. Whew.
Is it? Do they have to be near each other or just in the same group?
Um, for each kobold within X feet,
All right.
you gain a bonus to tactical DCs. I don't know what. When in light
How
load,
about
you get
this?
+1 competence multi to crit.
There we go. And this should work with friendly or foe kobolds as well.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter who it
Like
is.
just it doesn't matter.
So if you have like a raid of 12 kobolds, everyone gets +12 tactical DCs. Hell yeah, let's go kobold raid. And also, no one
and
has
then
any boots.
just notice like
Yeah, then you run Project Nemesis and like 3 glove drops, and everyone just uninstalls.
yeah.
That's great.
Let's what are kobolds? What do they have like a racial ability that's buffed with the cores here?
Yeah, what do the cores even do?
Here's my thoughts.
Uh,
+1 to hit. Damn it. Wait, hold on. To attack damage. There we go.
Wait, so it's a
Like
D6 sneak attack die and +1 to hit,
just +1 like deception and stuff like that, and then we do something else here.
and
Because
also
like
some.
the other ones give like +2 rage and stuff like that. Like I don't think the cores are particularly enticing, except for the last one, which tends to be really, really good.
Okay, so what's a cool race? So shifter is +1 shift, then +2 shifts, then shift regeneration.
Yeah. The
Okay.
tiefling gives like the fire damage and hit and spell power and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Tiefling is really cool.
Yeah, we can
What
do
does
that.
Wild Elf
We can do
give?
something
Wild Elf
cool.
is also a dex. +2% to hit. Oh, but that's the it's the elf block. So it's not a great example.
Okay. Shade Archive.
Yeah, and like Dragonborn just gives like +1 fortitude saves. I don't think these need to be particularly enticing. I think we should put some extra sauce on the core 16 though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe they should have strike through somewhere in here. I'm
Oh,
thinking out loud.
I do like the idea of movement speed, like 5% movement speed on core 7 and 10% total movement speed on 16. And it's like an action boost bonus.
Yeah, they could absolutely get action boost. They should actually get like 5, like 10,
10,
like
15.
20%.
And it's
Well, like,
just built
actually,
in.
honestly, +10% and then 20%, 30%.
And they just move fast. They're just
They
like
just move
zooming
fast.
around.
Actually, maybe 5, 10, 15. So it's like Bard. So you end up at 15%.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It
Yeah.
should end up like 15% so it doesn't go over top of anything. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, that is super solid, and like taking 5% movement speed is actually a really good intense. Like that's a very enticing set of cores right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, don't worry, SRB. I'll just say all of the kobold quotes. That way you don't have to worry about playing a soundboard. I know that would be embarrassing. I don't want to have to play the soundboard.
All right. These should be kobold expertise here.
And it's got to be skills. Open lock,
+1, 2, 3.
open lock, open lock.
Oh, I was gonna do search spot and then like disable device, but search
Because they
like
got to break into
maybe
stuff. Kobold's got to steal things.
how do you spell device? It's definitely with an I and E. No, it's an E.
No, yeah, it's device.
Device. Okay.
I have to say that every time I write device. I say device.
I have to do this when I'm writing code. I'm like literally typing in the skill disable device, and it's like DDO is like,
Mm.
Quentin, what are you talking about? what do you? Why would you say that to me?
No,
And I
kobolds
change
have.
it back to an E, and it's like good. Like that's what I thought.
Um,
All right,
okay, I have a question. What
all
if
right.
there's gonna? No, this would be bad. I was gonna say, what if kobolds auto looted all chests, but then you couldn't pass stuff during raids, and that would make it really bad. So that would just be anti-fun.
Yeah, It's one of those things where like that would be super rad, and I like that a lot. At the same time, players get really touchy about stuff like that. They
Yeah,
get really touchy. Um,
yeah, exactly. I think kobolds should have a bad haggle intentionally, just because they don't know how to haggle.
I actually think they should have bonus to haggle.
No, they
Like
should.
they should even have
No, no, no.
like
Kobolds are the kind of person where you would be like, "Oh, look, here's my 5 shiny coins for your 1 coin," except you're trading them like nickels for $1. Like they don't get it.
that's a good point. You make a compelling case.
Yeah.
All right. They definitely should have reflex saves in tier 1 though.
Yeah, sure. That sounds not too bad. Gonna see what else we missed. Pack tactics. The sewer related stench. Yeah, okay, that's already done.
Yep.
That's already done. We got pack tactics, which is stupid and dumb.
Oh, that's great. Everyone loves
Kobolds,
DCs.
freely moving, don't hurt me. I think we incorporated all of our ideas. Give me that Alt Shift 5. Oh, Alt Shift 5. Not F5. Don't be stupid. We got the don't want to hurt dragons. We got the voice acting. We got the grudge system. So we did it. We added all of our ideas, and we have holes.
That's okay because we can just give them silly stuff.
Evasion
Uh
in a tier 4.
Honestly, yeah.
What if
'Cause
it's
the other
sneak
tier
attack, sneak attack, sneak attack, and tier 4 is evasion?
I'd actually rather like evasion and it requires all 4 sneak attacks. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you have to
Like it
go
makes
up and then to the side?
like a Waluigi L.
Oh. Okay, I only because you said Waluigi, I yield.
I mean, that's what like Drow and Elf do that, right? I'm pretty sure. Maybe just
Well,
Elf.
yeah, for sure. I can see that.
I'm just trying to remember what we actually put in our video game. Do they have dragon marks?
Do kobolds have dragon marks? Oh.
Someone Google that, please. Someone in chat, please Google. Do kobolds have dragon marks 3.5? Please report back.
I don't know if they do. I don't think they do.
All right, I've been informed that no, they do not.
Yeah.
Um,
No, they do not. Okay, perfect.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's none.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds good.
I kind of want to put evasion in the Waluigi L. I think that's a really solid,
All
very,
right,
very
sounds good to
nice
me.
tier
Yeah,
5.
Waluigi L is good. Kobold can summon a kobold. They already ignore kobold aggro. So the kobolds, if you want to look at this by yourself and scroll through it, by the way, at any time, if this is hard to look at on screen, you can always use exclamation point kobold to just pull up the tree. But here you have other enemy kobolds will not become hostile to you unless they have been damaged, which means
Right.
that if there are other kobolds nearby, you can just walk past them and nothing happens.
Yeah. Let's think about it. We actually don't have that many holes. Like we only have like 5 abilities left.
Yeah, there's like 1 on each tier, and there's 2 on tier 2 that we need to fill up.
We can fill out tier 2. Let's think about this. Let's think about this.
Oh, you know it's a good tier 2?
Mm-hmm.
Natural armor 246.
Love it. That's great, actually. Kobold scales.
Yeah, or hard scales.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna call it toughened
dragon
scales.
scales. Like, because they want to be dragons.
They want to be dragons.
Yeah.
Maybe. Action boost
All right.
reflexes. Yeah.
See what chat is saying.
Yeah, guys, throw out some ideas. What are some things we missed? We literally put in everything, and there's more space. That doesn't happen very often. I'm gonna
Well, it's
take.
because we put an entire page into their race. Like, there's literally an entire page of rules here.
Yeah.
That's just their race block.
Um. Oh, I don't want to say dark blessing. What's a dark blessing?
Oh, they
Oh,
should have like a Dark Six thing.
yeah.
Like that should be like that's the missing thing. What does the Dark Six even do? They're just evil. Just really evil. All right, let me think. Let me see the tier 3 here.
Okay, let's see what we got here. SLA to
So,
knock. I don't know how about that. There is already an open lock in
mhm.
uh the half orc people where they hit it with their face.
Oh, Lock Bash.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yes.
Is that actually like it
It doesn't
actually
do what it
this
says it does, but it does work. It says it uses intimidate scaling off of strength. It just is an intimidate check.
okay, it sounds like the same thing that was wrong with key shout is wrong with that. Does that make sense? Does that sound like the same bug or a slightly different version of the same bug?
No, it actually just works. Like it literally works. It's the best. You can open any doors you want. It's just an intimidate check. So it says it uses your strength, but it doesn't use your strength. It just uses intimidate.
But that still is enough to beat the DCs, is what you're saying?
Oh, easy. You
Okay.
just play like a bard or a paladin or a whatever. You just take it as a class skill. Breath
Okay.
attack, no. Bane SLA, no.
All right.
Chest blessing.
I think that some of the stuff we could do here is like, for example, chosen by the Dark Six, and like, let's see what the Dark Six kind of give here. Um, and we can give them like a sort of religion-based bonus. You know what I mean? Like a protection versus magic or some kind.
Sure. Question. What about this is gonna sound dumb. What if
Mhm.
it takes them 2 hits to break breakables? Would that be too annoying?
That does sound really annoying. That being said, I do want to say something that literally the other tier 5 called more shinies with more exclamation points, and this requires shinies. And you have like 10 times the chance to drop an item from Heavy Break. Like literally, if you're the one punching them, you just so much more stuff comes out of them.
Okay, great. So this is where my Haggle Bard's gonna go.
Oh yeah.
Tap
Uh,
out on stuff. I don't know if that's a good
uh,
idea, but it's an idea.
Chosen by the Dark Six. I should probably do something about prayer beads. Like literally, you can activate a prayer bead or something. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
they could use all the kobold collectibles.
Yes.
There's a
So that's
spell that has a spell component using the collectibles, the prayer beads,
oh my god, and those little
shamanic
spell
totems.
components.
What?
That's great. No, that's perfect.
Yeah, not Sickness of the Devourer. What are the 3 of them? There's the prayer
String of
beads,
prayer
the
beads.
shamanic totems, and I don't know what the middle one is. The 2 wooden something.
Looking through Gold
Oh,
Scudder here.
Icon of Kyber. That's it.
Wooden Idol. Icon of
Yeah,
Kyber. Yeah. Okay, so they need 3 different SLAs that have prayer beads, wooden idols, icons of Kyber as their material component,
yeah, because you trade those
and those
in
are the
with Gold
3 missing
Scuttle.
things. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they have a tier 1, 2, and 3 right down the middle.
Yes. So this
Boom.
is
Oh. Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is just genius. Great job. Great job, everybody. I gotta go down chat so you can see it.
oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. They also do have an intimidate negative. Important note that the base class itself or the base race has a whole bunch of stuff. Well, it's a
Oh yeah,
ton
there's
of
a
stuff.
whole page.
It's a
There's
page.
an actual page.
Yeah, it's a whole page. It's a lot. Oh, that's so great.
All right, so this is Icon of Kyber SLA, and then we have Wooden Idol SLA.
Yeah. Feels like you
I'm
run out of
sorry,
components super fast. Yeah, you got to trade them on the auction house, which means you have all these kobold players are going to be buying up all your hundreds of prayer beads and everything else. So instead of trading them with gold scuttle, you're literally trading them to other players.
I gotta get this is hilarious. So this is better. This better do something fantastic.
Well, the prayer
Um,
beads can just be a bless SLA,
okay.
or
Um,
I'm assuming prayer is probably out of the question for this.
why not just prayer? What's wrong with prayer?
It's really good. +5 luck bonus to everything. I mean, it has a
Yeah, but
cost.
it costs a whole prayer bead. So
Okay, sure. Prayer. Yeah, prayer
yeah.
SLA. Yeah, sounds good to me. Prayer SLA. Boom.
All right. So we have Wooden Idol and Icon of Kyber. Icon of Kyber sounds like something that would summon a demon or do some sort of demonic strength thing.
Yeah, it's also the rare component.
Yeah, so this is definitely some sort of like I'm thinking kind of like the Abishai form kind of experience.
Oh, so it's like the Abishai cookies, like if you eat them all?
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, what does that do? I have no idea.
I think it's a variety of stuff that mostly involves caster level.
Yeah, what if more shinies gave you a chance to get like a chance to get double collectibles or something instead of more from breakables? That's not a bad idea.
um. Oh yeah, like this should drop. Okay.
So instead of doing that, it just gives you more collectibles instead.
Yeah.
Because the problem with the breakables is like I don't know how that would work. It's like what if does that mean you break one box and like multiple items come out?
More like most breakables drop nothing, and for a certain percent of chance they drop an item, and now you have 10 times the chance. But I actually like the idea that you collect more collectibles.
Yeah.
Um, this should be a percentage that scales off of something that players can itemize.
Yeah, like a stat.
Yeah, haggle.
Wait, what's like their search? Because it'd be like search, right?
Yes.
Did they get search?
In tier 1, they have bluff, but they can get search.
Yeah. And then so then it's based on your search. You have a percent chance to pull an extra collectible based on their search. Yep, exactly. So they get more collectibles. 100%. This is how you do it. This is how you do it, everybody.
This percentage chance is equal to your search skill. That way, if you have 100, you straight up have 100%.
Yeah.
And maybe this can wrap over.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just you have a build where somebody farms out 200% search or 200 search. Just for that. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Call a were rat? No, no were rats.
Soon. Soon. Where rats are coming.
Yeah, just wait a couple weeks, guys. You'll get your were rats.
All right, so we need 2 more SLAs here. So it looks like the Abishai Destroyer experience is just a lot of nonsense that no one would really want as a kobold here. Just not really doing what you would
Yeah.
want as a kobold.
I really don't love the
Um,
idea of a summon because summons are bad. I don't know how you would make it good.
I could just summon a dragon, like a whole dragon.
What if the
Like
icon of Kyber was a dragon breath?
a really strong dragon breath. That could work if it's cool enough. Like I don't have a problem with that. I think I'm more trending towards a long-term buff because it's like you can't miss. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a sacrifice.
Um,
Yeah, I like that. I prefer that for sure. What would be a cool long-term buff?
just like a buffed version of the Abishai Destroyer thing. I just call it like Draconic form or something.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. I like that
You
idea.
take the aspect of a dragon
Mhm.
and gain significant bonuses. So this should just be like I don't know, plus 10 strength or something.
Whoa, strength and constitution?
Yeah, but it costs a whole rare collectible. So like, how many times can you realistically do this?
Yeah. Well, strength. Would it be just strength and con, or would you also include dex in there?
Honestly, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's like plus 2 other stats or something.
Sure. Yeah, plus 2 to other stats. Gives you a bunch of natural armor, elemental resist, or something.
Yeah, probably like plus 40. And then like an offensive thing, like I don't know, maybe a large size bonus sort of stuff. Like, does this actually physically turn you into a dragon or just light you on fire? Like, it's a conundrum to be sure.
Yeah. I'd rather meet in the halfway and do like +5 to all stats or something like that, as opposed to just strength
That's
and con.
that's fair. I like the plus 8 because we could do psionic stuff.
Oh, so then it doesn't stack with the fighter one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah.
Sure. And also, it has the word psionic in it, so people will lose their mind when they read it.
Yeah. Let me think about what else this could possibly do. Probably should just give you a whole bunch of Yeah, fear immunity definitely. Um,
Yeah, because you like break the thing.
Harder dragon. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Does this have a long cooldown?
probably like a 5 minute cooldown.
Yeah.
I don't imagine players are going to hit this more than once per dungeon anyway.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's a cool effect though. All you have to do is crush those icons of Kyber. Now I really want to check how many I have, but
If you
probably a
think of
lot.
anything else that the dragon form can do,
I'm trying to think of dragon-esque stuff.
immunity knockdown, that makes sense.
Spell resistance gives you like spell resistance. Oh, what if it gives you? I don't know if this would work. Natural armor, resistance to all elements, and spell resistance equal to your level.
For all those statistics?
Yeah, for all those statistics. So all three are just based on your level, as opposed to a flat number. They're like character level.
Yeah.
That way, it's not like it scales with you through the whole game, and it's always kind of useful. Yeah. Spell resistance equal to dex. I don't know about that one. Sweet. It's super cool. There we go. Look at that.
Alright, and then we have the wooden idol, and I think this should be a heal of some kind.
Okay.
Like literally like a cure moderate wounds SLA or something. Or like
Sick.
a regenerator healing word. I don't know, man. Close wounds. We can keep going down.
For heal effects.
There's an equivalent in Halfling, which is actually mentally what I'm basing this race against, like what they're competing against.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, it's a heal over time. It's like a leech's thing.
Well, they have the dragon mark.
They have the dragon mark,
Yeah.
right?
They get
They
cure
just have
light,
straight up heal.
cure
Then,
serious, and heal.
oh, this should just be heal, like heal SLA. Not even joking.
Just a straight up heal SLA.
Yeah. It costs a whole wooden idol. Like, it should also have a pretty long cooldown.
Yeah, give it like 30 seconds.
I mean, I was thinking way longer than that. Because like when you think about a greater dragon mark spell heal, that's like one use, I'm pretty sure, per dungeon.
Yeah, you get 4 uses in a dungeon, but the cooldown's like 5 seconds. So give it like a minute.
A minute. Yeah.
2 minutes seems too long. Because at 2 minutes you feel like you probably wouldn't use it. Like you like, you hold it and then you maybe die.
All right. Well, this looks like a catastrophe to me.
This tree is so eclectic. I don't know what we just did. What is happening?
There's a lot of stuff we have to fill in here. Like kobolds, the buffs all kobolds near you, friend and foe. What does this do?
Oh yeah, Yark. So buffs all
yeah.
kobolds near you.
Should it be like for each kobold hit, do you want to press this near a whole bunch of kobolds?
So all affected targets move faster.
All right, so this should be like plus 30% action boost then.
Yeah,
like, this
just
is like
right
the
away.
next charge.
Yeah, I'll move fast. What else is? How does this affect all kobolds? So your kobold goes Yark! And just screeches. Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Iconic clearly has to be a kobold pirate. That is correct. Yes, it's not a shaman, it's a pirate. 4 Cormyr, but kobolds. What if it's just 4 Cormyr, but only kobolds? You know what 4 Cormyr does?
I'm pretty sure that also involves a 30% action boost bonus movement speed.
It doesn't. It heals you to full, and it can only be used while under half hit points. And it gives all nearby allies and a bonus to attack and damage based on your charisma modifier for a minute.
This looks like a thing that we should do with also charisma modifier. Like I actually think keeping this as charisma makes a lot of sense to me. Wow, that's bonkers.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know
once per S, but like
yeah, we use it in the new raid.
Yeah.
Dry the Demigod, because you can use it for the bear, and then you can also have that person go and rest, and then you use it again on the Fomorian at the end. It feels really good to have like plus 280 to hit. Because we have somebody with 130 charisma.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a good ability to have in the game, but it is in the game.
I'm just surprised that like this is the first I've heard of people actually using it.
Yeah, well, because
Um,
it's hard to get it off because you have to be under half. But if you put on the rose-colored glasses and then take them off, it reduces your max health.
yeah, I mean, you also have to play a PDK, so really, who's winning then?
You also have to play a PDK. This is the problem. I feel like this ability would be fine here or something similar to that. Because remember, it only affects kobolds, which means that if you have a bunch of kobolds in your raid, these are a bunch of idiots with no good item sets because they have a bunch of trinkets.
Well, we don't know that there's only like a. What if there's an item set coming out in like literally Saltmarsh that is just you need 3 trinkets equipped? Like you don't know. It could be anything.
And kobold just slides
Um,
in there.
yeah, just just three trinkets.
Okay, okay.
I actually don't think this is like it's one of those things where it's like it's the same philosophy I have with trances is that whether or not something is balanced, as long as we don't make it worse, we can just change all of them at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't actually think duplicating bad things is as bad as making new bad things that then we'd have to rebalance eventually.
sure.
You know, like
Yeah,
okay, it's rallying cry that's the movement speed. I knew they had an action boost to movement speed. That was allies. I knew it.
yeah.
Okay. No, I don't think it's a bad thing to include. And gain a. Should this not be a damage though? Maybe this is like attack.
It's just attack.
I mean, the according to the wiki, the other one is
It gives
damage.
attack and damage. I
Why? Why would it do that?
I don't know. I don't
Riddle me
know.
this, Strimtom.
So there was somebody and they were coding Purple Dragon Knight and they were doing all this stuff and they were on tier threes, right? And they're having a good time. And somebody was like, yo, check out the art. And so they saw it and they're like, oh god. So they pulled out the bottle of Jack Daniels and they got like most of the way through it. And then they finished coding it.
I think
And
that's how Legendary Greensteel happened.
yeah,
Um,
and then they just woke up in the morning after like just straight blacking out. And somebody was like, "Oh, is that what this does?" And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." Hold on. Oh god, my head hurts. Yeah, that's what it does. And then it's in the game. EA
so,
Sports.
so I don't think I should say anything in response to that for the sanctity of my career. That's where I'm at. But that sounds pretty accurate. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't
All
know
right.
why it does attack and damage. All I know is it does attack and damage, and the text is wrong.
All right. Well, who knows?
Because I can get 350 to hit with my paladin while smiting with it active.
Who knows?
Attack
Get
and save
greedy.
versus fear. I mean, because remember, this only affects kobolds, right? So that's why I'm like, I'm not stressed about it being like a big buff because it only
I'm
affects
not.
kobolds.
I've already typed out the majority of this. I'm just thinking about specifically the ability for Cormier and the ramifications of having that in the game. I don't know why you tell me these things on a Monday night on my day off,
I,
Strim Tom.
I it just kind of came up in conversation.
All right. Well, I'll just say attack and damage because it's like that's what the ability does, and if the tooltip's wrong, the tooltip's wrong.
Yeah, yeah, we just update the tooltip later.
It sounds like it's one of those things that it's like basically the same problem that trances have, in which like those kinds of scales kind of break the
Mm,
higher those numbers get.
mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a big deal when you're adding like plus 10 to hit and damage, but then somebody's
Yeah.
like, hey, I can get 150 charisma.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, cool, plus 70 to hit and damage? Okie doke.
It's also it's like I have a real dislike of item swaps that are like a near full item set. Because it feels like it grinds the game to a halt. And like swapping a single item or swapping your weapon out given the situation,
Mm-hmm.
I love that and that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But swapping around items specifically for a buff and then having to go back to them, you aren't really existing in that state you're swapping to. You're just pressing that one button.
Yeah.
And like that button should then just do what it wants you to do and not make you go through all those hoops.
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna let you give that bonus anyway, you know what I mean? We should just make it do that bonus that you want and not make you stop and macro through it. Because I think that adds unnecessary time to our combat, which is otherwise pretty fluid.
Yeah.
Um,
So then this is not kobold related. How do you
yeah.
take that discussion and now turn that onto sentient weapons, which ask you to have an item set, but then people weapon swap for they put on their blood feast and then they rage, so they get the extra stats, but they don't want to use blood feast for real, so they have a blood feast swap, or people have a prowess swap, or people have all these different swaps.
Didn't we make it so that Blood Feast we made it so a Blood Feast gets away if you unrage. But like maybe it's one of those things where weapon procs from sentience should get tied to the weapon somehow. So if you actually unequip the weapon, that buff goes away. Um but it's I don't know. I think as developers we have to walk that fine line between like how much are we doing this for game balance and how much are we doing this to prevent the players from having fun in that way? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because we think they'll have more fun in a different way. And like it's one of those it's a weird situation because like if we end up being wrong, then we come off as really overly punitive. And even if we're right, we still come off as really punitive because
Mhm.
we're trying to steer how they have fun, which means putting unnecessary blockers in place.
Right. That makes sense.
Um, yeah, it's really weird. I definitely didn't expect getting into this line of work that a lot of what I would be doing is like expectation management and like trying to psychologically understand what makes someone happy and what makes someone sad and like how we can just frame certain discussions in different ways and it has a tremendous amount of change in how certain things are received.
Mhm.
And that's part of what I'm really trying to work on. Like I would fully admit that I'm not the best at community management, but I'm trying really hard to do a better job, like to better explain our motivations because I feel like when we go into that detail, it's a lot easier for us to explain why we're doing things, and then players will go, "Oh, that makes sense," and then they don't get as mad.
Right. That makes
Um,
sense. Yeah. I think that a lot of this conversation can just easily get boiled down into like SSG's coming for your fun, kids. Haha, everything's getting nerfed. Woo! I'm just kidding. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's tough too when reading through some of the changes about recently with like the bow and the double strike changes. And then from my perspective, I spent like 4 hours on the forums watching people intentionally misunderstand and misquote and misattribute a lot of the statements that you guys made. And I'm like, why you gotta try so hard when the information is there? And there was so much like Coco put so much effort into like this 30-page post. And then you have people be
I
like
wrote that
that
post.
didn't read it.
I that's a like not to get too weird about it, but sometimes some of the stuff that we get specifically involves calling out who made which post of like we prefer certain developers communications over other developers communications,
Hmm.
but sometimes when that happens we actually have like collaborated, and so like people are like, oh, Coco doesn't understand, but like, and oh, Littlebell does, or whatever, but like I wrote that post, so I was actually both halves of this conversation.
Yeah.
um I don't know, I think stuff like that is really tough because sometimes people are going to intentionally take your words as their worst possible versions. And there's not really a lot you can do to get around that.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing we can really do. We just have to go. Like, there's no way out but through. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like I'm still a novice at this. You know, it's been for almost 5 years, but like, you know, I definitely have a lot to learn about all this stuff, and it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And like, um, so it's I definitely understand a lot of this frustration for the players because like there have definitely been times in which if we had communicated better, it would have been a better time. Like we dropped the ball or we didn't explain well or it just fell off someone's page or we did a
Hmm.
really bad time. We did a really bad job explaining ourselves and like it's frustrating in those situations because as soon as it happens, you immediately know what you have to do better, but you can't go back in time and fix the problem.
Yeah.
You just have to do better next time.
Yeah. I feel very fortunate that at least in the position that I have right now, I don't have to worry about any of that or like tiptoe around that. Like if I see something that I'm just like, oh, this guy's an idiot, and I just say that and type that into my keyboard. Um, but when you have the perspective where the reason people have these emotions and opinions is partially because of maybe where they're coming from, but also the information that's presented. So you always have to constantly think about that and how to write that. So
Yeah.
that's a tricky place to be. Well,
No, and I don't know. I definitely think that like there's different ways of comparing ourselves and our communication. Like you can measure us by how well do we as a studio do versus other games, or how well do we as a studio do versus where we were 1 year ago or 5 years ago.
yeah,
And we're really lucky that we have like over a decade, we have 15 years of like metrics for us to go back on, and we can look back at what has worked traditionally and what hasn't.
yeah,
And we can go like, well, that was a big mistake, but like at least it wasn't that one time again.
yeah.
So
I mean, I can say as somebody who's currently playing a lot of DDO, DDO's communication has been like way, way, way better than in the past like 5 years. It's like night and day from like 5 years ago.
yeah,
So
well, I'm really happy to hear that. I know I took a good 6 or 7 months off from the forums, because frankly I got really upset and people were being real mean, and I took it really personally, and I was like, I don't want to. my whole point of like the whole point of communication in this is that I want to do the best job so that players have a good time. And if I'm at the point in which I'm trying to talk to people and they just get mad, then what I would be doing by continuing to engage is just making everybody upset. So I'll take a step back and try and reapproach this later. And because it's like ultimately what we're here for is we're trying to make everybody have a good time. And like if my interaction doesn't make people have a good time, then the only thing that would be serving is my ego by
Yeah.
continuing to, you know what I mean? So I do think that now like I'm happy to be back and like engaging with people, and I'm very fortunate to like this project is so good to work on. Like, could you imagine taking 6 months off of a part of your job in any other context? Like that's an insane thing to say.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna
Uh,
read my email for 6 months. I don't like reading emails, so
yeah, and but like I'm really lucky, and like I've got some really good coworkers and a lot of people,
yeah.
and it's yeah.
So
No, it's always it's a really just yeah, definitely drink some water. No,
so yeah,
I
we're
don't
just gonna
know.
shove 4 Cormier in here then.
I mean, yeah, like I why would we not at this point?
Yeah.
It's also one of those things where it's like it's like if this ability is really overpowered, then it's been really overpowered for a really long time. And if it's only recently that people have started to poke into Purple Dragonite in a raid comp for this particular ability, um, then like you know,
Yeah.
I think we can be forgiven for pretending this doesn't exist if the players also forgot that it existed for a really long time.
Well, this would only affect kobolds, so you have to have this whole bricked raid. I love the idea. Because whether this is a good idea or not, you know that somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah. If I had to adjust this ability right now, I would probably change it so that it is a multiplication of your inherent charisma, so that there's actually an upper limit, and it's an upper limit we can quantify, because that can't go higher
Hmm.
than like 20. You know what I mean? Like your pre-tome value, and then we just multiply that by like something preposterous, like 4 or 5 or something, so you get approximately the same bonus,
Yeah.
but that will never get higher. If that makes sense.
Oh, is this an actual sneak preview of Legendary Waterworks for update 51? Yes.
51, yes.
51.
Call me on
Confirmed.
that.
Yeah.
Well, what update are we even on? We're on 45?
49 was last update, I think.
40, oh no, 51. No, I can't not 51.
Yeah, 51. So next, yeah, it's because 50 is like the summer update, and then 51.
I don't know. I don't even know what's
Oh,
happening anymore.
151. Oh, my mistake. Sorry. You got to carry the
Okay, we're
one. It's
good.
just my thumb was over top of the thing on the screen. I couldn't see it.
All right, let me see what else we have to fill in here.
Yeah. We didn't describe what the kobold special attack moves do. We just
All
have
right,
them.
all right. So I think this is definitely an active that burns people over time.
Yeah.
It's like a throw.
Legendary hunt for Ven. You really got to find them. It's not actually a raid because it's hard. It's just that the prison is like 800 times the size, and so you need 12 people looking down different areas and hallways to eventually find the Ven. So sometimes it's fast, and sometimes it takes like 6 hours. And then the best part is then after you find Ven, you have to then find the chest somewhere. I should never design quests.
Thereafter, for 15, I don't know, 16 seconds, fire damage scales off of both fire spell power and 100% range power. There
Oh,
we go.
so double scales?
Yeah, we could probably do that. I'm pretty sure we have at least one spell that does that. Um,
I I don't think so.
Pretty sure Phantom Knives does.
Phantom Knives is just range power. If it's range power and spell power, yo, I need to use Phantom Knives.
I'm pretty sure it's both erroneously.
Oh no way! I know it scales off of force crit because all spell like abilities use all things like that use their critical value for stuff.
Damage Flux Pierce. So I'm not seeing use source for spell power here. That being said, I think it's actually inherent depending on the delivery method. Like the fact that
Hmm.
this is a damage value in a spell means that it is going to inherently take its spell scalar, and then it sees the range weapon power. Like this is straight up a code bug, is what this is.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
but at the same time, if we have that ability, might as well use it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
1d6 bad. Do we do like
Yeah, but scales with 2 things. 1d6 times 1,000 times another 300.
Yeah, but it's 6.
Yeah, but 6 times 1,000 times 300.
Is like 30.
6 times 1,000
Oh,
is
6 times
definitely
1,000
not
is
30.
66. Times 300 would be like 250.
In what world is 6 times 1,000 60? Oh, it's only times 100
Yeah. Well, 1,000 spell power is times 10.
times 10.
Or times
So that's 60 times 3.
or 11.
I don't know how to do math. 60 times 3 is
Look, I'm just
180.
saying it should be like a d6 per level or something.
Nah, but it's a damage over time.
Yeah,
It's
but it
gotta
only
be
hits one
low.
person.
It's an AoE.
Oh, is it an AoE?
Yeah. Well, because it's like a lob thing. It's
But
it's
maybe the
damage over
dot's only a
time
d6,
AoE.
but the initial hit's got to be like something more than a single d6.
No, nonsense. It's a damage over time. The initial hit, if you're an actual kobold, does literally nothing because it's based off of AC. Like, this is an infinite upgrade from an actual kobold attack. Regular kobolds do no damage. This is infinity times better.
Okay. Yeah, but okay. Also, what world do I have 1,000 fire spell power and 300 range power?
In the world, once you're specking into a kobold, well, you got 3 trinkets. One of those probably has spell power on it.
Sure, you have 3 trinkets. This is very true. It just comes out in the wash. It just comes out in the wash. Reminder: if you'd like to look at this tree on your own, because I'm not scrolling around that much, ! Kobold in chat to pull it up. Okay,
Right.
lunge attack like spring attack. That's good enough for me. You want me to just copy and paste spring attack?
Yeah, lunge like spring attack. Let me do some kobold lunge! Exclamation point.
I really think that we should just take staff lunge and call it kobold
Better than
lunge.
string. Is it better than spring attack? I like spring attack's arc, but like.
Well, staff lunge, it has like a custom animation where you move through monsters and you attack.
I think we can just set you to ethereal no matter what. Like there are certain charges that go through stuff, and we can just do that.
For sure. I'm just saying there's an attack called staff lunge, and I feel like it follows through pretty well. But yeah, you could just do spring attack. The problem is, could you use kobold lunge and spring attack, or are they on a separate cooldown?
I think they're probably on separate cooldowns. Cause like why not?
Yeah.
You know, I think all of our charges have a base like 2-second cooldown because we just don't want you to move that much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
But I don't see why this would have to have a more of a restriction than any other movement ability. Like All right, I don't mind if this is spring attack or staff lunge. I am more thinking about the aesthetics of jumping than I am thinking about what this actually does.
Okay, perfect.
Back it up. Love it. All right, well, I'm just going to copy staff lunge because I'm here on the...
Yeah. Alchemist fire. I like that. Tail leap. Better than kobold lunge.
Tail leap. Sure. Hit that with a paste without formatting. We're just going to say this is a 3W.
Yep.
This is no ranks. That's not a 3.
The capital 3. I do that all the time. Damn capital numbers get in the way.
Yeah, why can't we make 3 bigger? Frankly, it's a little
It should
weird.
just bold. It just gets bigger.
Yeah, like...
And then the back it up is a jump backwards. Does it give you a buff after you jump backwards? It's just a single jump and it gives you a buff.
Hear me out. No buffs, but it's got like a 4-second cooldown.
Oh, so you just use it all the time.
Oh yeah. Like you
perfect.
This is a button that moves you, and that's all it does.
Chef's kiss. Like that's perfect. Yeah. I'm just gonna copy the text for the jump backwards from Primal Avatar.
You got it.
So it's consistent.
I don't actually think that jumps you backwards anymore. I remember removing that animation specifically because if you animation canceled, it would actually cancel the rest of the ability.
Yes, and you wouldn't get any effects.
Bells to you?
Yeah. So paste that for me. You quickly jump backwards. You quickly jump backwards, sure. Cooldown 4 seconds.
Love it. All right, the last thing I think we have to do here is we have to fill out Kobold Remember Z with bonuses, but I'm pretty sure...
Oh yeah, what does Kobold Remembers you do? Also, does it stack? Like every time you die, does it get better?
To the same thing? Yes.
So if you get killed like 4 times in a row?
Yeah, but it's gonna be like a big fucking bonus. Like, that's gonna be obscene.
Oh man. I am trying to read what you just wrote, and I cannot. Imagine if It was an obscuring mist and jump back. No, the obscuring mist SLA is in the shaman tree.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In the shaman tree.
That's actually all they have. Is they've got 4 lightning bolt SLAs and different cooldowns, and they got 1 obscuring mist and a short cooldown.
Yeah.
So that's effectively the same thing.
Advantage on everything to do. They don't really have advantage. That's not in 3.5. If there's a programmable advantage, I don't like advantage as a concept for a video game because it's too swingy. But
really,
yeah,
because I was actually thinking about what if we could bring the idea of advantage to DDO.
Well, the problem is
Like-
while you have advantage, that's basically you are 50% more accurate.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about it within the context of like say for example, favorite enemies.
Yeah.
Like we do a lot of conditional bonuses and they're flat, and like advantage is just like a scalar. You know what I mean?
Well, the main issue is that advantage is just too big of a number. That's my issue.
Too big
is that
of a
it's,
scalar.
because when you have small numbers, so the advantage is like a nice thing. But could you imagine if a monster has 200 armor class and then DDO can only get you to like plus 150 to hit? So if you don't have advantage, you always miss, and if you do have advantage, then you always hit. Like that would be kind of the issue that I imagine you would run into.
I mean, just so I'm clear, we're talking about the same thing. I'm talking about the 5th edition version of the idea of advantage, in which if you instead roll twice and pick the highest.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
Then it's a really big bonus, and it's like a scalar bonus, but like there are times in which we definitely needed that. And like typing in plus 100 strength, like sometimes that's really not what you need.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I think it's definitely like it's a weird tool that I honestly kind of wish we had in our toolbox.
Well, I don't think that there's inherently something wrong with advantage. I think that just having it on one place seems like it would be really weird. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if we have that tool, maybe it's like how, like if we did, like for example, we didn't have a way to do splash AoE beyond glancing blows, so we built the idea of strike through.
Right.
And then now we can use strike through in other places if we need to.
Right.
It's like if we built out the idea of like, what if we had conditional advantages, then even if we don't refactor anything, or like if we only refactored some of the game with it, like that's still an interesting tool to be able to use.
Okay. So what if it, in this futuristic world where the kobold exists, update 151, there's advantage?
Maybe. That's the thing is like I don't think that advantage makes sense in anything that Kobold is doing. Even Kobold remembers you. Like advantage is like it's very, very strong. Like you're completely right that it's very, very strong. And this is kind of a meme. Like I don't actually want people to intentionally die. I want them to get a fun bonus against until they die again, if that makes sense.
Okay, so why don't just do like favorite enemy, like +2 to damage, +2 to saving throws against.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Weekly gold roll is 100. Ooh, congrats. The rogue slipper
We
mind
can
feed
actually
is technically
just
advantage.
steal
It
that
is.
wording.
Yeah, I think the main issue is where I run into a problem is with its like attack rolls and stuff with advantage, because DDO has the bounded accuracy system. So rolling a 15 or higher or a 16 or higher is an automatic hit. So when you have,
I mean, it's an automatic hit in certain mathematical contexts. Like, if you're way off the board, it's still not enough, right?
no, if in DDO, if you roll a 16, you hit 16 or higher. It's just auto hit, and then between 6 and 15 is a grazing blow, where you do a percentage of your damage, and then if you roll a 5 or lower and you miss, then you just straight up miss.
I would definitely have to take a look at actually how that works, because I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to that particular math. Like, I'm completely honest here. I don't know.
It's a good system because it means that you can be like +100 to hit and go into like a Reaper raid where you need +200, and 25% of the time you're still just hitting, which is fine. It's a good system, but with advantage, it would drastically increase your hit chance, which is like, I don't know how that would work. Basically the idea of advantage would be like a whole other DDI. That's a whole other episode in itself.
Yeah.
That's a whole
And
episode.
I think there's definitely, if we're talking about the future of this particular thing, I actually don't mind a more high level discussion rather than a focused discussion thing like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if we wanted to go over a hypothetical future version of DDO, like for example, What about a DDO that uses no skills? Like that uses the 5th edition version of proficiency and that's it. What would that look like at every level of the game?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
cool.
how would we handle the idea of an expertise or a proficient skill versus a non-proficient skill? What would that mean for things like opening a lock, which is a numerical skill check? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that we could talk about. What do you mean, no, please?
Just got back. Can you start
All right,
over?
fair.
No. Yeah, we can. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dungeons Developer. Anyway.
All right. The last thing we have to do, because I just stole the word from favorite weapon there or favorite enemy, is what does each individual type of item in the entire game in Chinese give you?
Okay, so lingering. So these bonuses apply. So what do we have? So we have gold, scrolls, potions. What other items drop from chests?
So equipment, and
So-
then versus weapons. I think we should split it like that, but not any further.
And
if that
armor?
makes sense.
Because you have accessories, armor, and weapons.
Yeah. Accessories, armor, and weapons. Spell components.
Oh, spell components. You actually want to pick
yeah.
them up? Guild renown?
I don't think that's a tangible object. I don't think that's real. I don't think Guild Renown's real.
Okay. What else can drop out of chests?
Definitely Yahtzee items. So like e-store stuff.
Oh, Yahtzee items? Sure. Tomes?
Yeah. So like this should be like tomes.
XP elixirs, like yeah, anything that comes from the store.
Yes, anything that comes from the store.
Okay. What else is in there? Raid runes.
I also don't think raid runes physically exist within the context of the game.
Okay.
Like that's like a weird ephemeral representation of the amount of times you've run a raid off timer.
Crafting components. Is that the same thing?
Which components?
Like crafting components. So you run a dungeon and you get crafting components out of the chest.
Yeah. Ingredients and of some kind.
Because then that's like Kenneth crafting, and then that's also stuff like the slave lords items and stuff.
I'm gonna put this next to like gems up there.
Also, it just occurred to me that accessories should be called wondrous items, because that's like how they call it in D&D.
That is, believe it or not, how they're also referred to internally. Like that's what that particular part of our item like part of the game actually is as well.
Yeah.
But yes, or clothing/jewelry is also how we've done distinctions.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Mostly because I can't spell wondrous. I don't want to humiliate myself again.
Extra bonus for named loot? I don't think so, because named loot's at the end of a quest, so it won't really matter that much. Okay, so what do you get for all these bonuses? This is terrible.
Okay, I think weapons definitely should be like some sort of melee power. Melee and range power, like literally
+1
like,
melee and range power? Sure.
Armor +1 PRR and MMR.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good.
Clothing and jewelry should probably be +1 all saves.
All saves? What if it's +1 saves at random?
Maybe. I don't know how I would do that.
You would limbo it. So when you drink it, it like pulls, or like you pull it, it pulls from a list of like 3.
Yeah, it would have to be a compound random pick, and yeah, I could do that. Spell components should probably be. They should probably just restore spell points.
Oh, sick! Yeah, great idea. Yeah, restore spell points.
Scrolls would probably
be +1 spell power.
Oh yeah, +1.
Because sometimes you get like 6 scrolls out of a chest, and you feel like you hit the jackpot.
Yeah. Gold and gems probably should be like AC and like something else.
Well, if you want to go completely off the deep end, each gem has a different bonus. So I don't know how many gems there are in DDO.
We could probably do something really, really stupid. I don't know if the wiki has this information, because why would they?
Yeah, I have no idea where you would find that. Based on the color of the gem.
I have a dumb idea. Completely dumb idea. We're gonna hit Control F for gems here.
Oh, there's a DDO wiki link for gems. Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4,
there's a
5,
lot.
6, 7, 8, 9.
There's a lot of gems. So we have options here. We have options.
Okay. I'm seeing definitely for the top 6, strength, dex, con, int, wisdom, charisma.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, for each of the colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Sure.
yeah.
Per color.
Yes.
And then you have clear white, pearl white, and black.
Uh,
So clear white would be like +5 health. Pearl white would be something.
I actually wanted to do, oh, because gold is so weird because there's gonna be give you like 600 at a time.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, I'm back up so I can remember this. Potions to restore HP. Um, just putting that in there before I forget.
Great. Sounds good to me.
Gosh, what does chat have to say?
Yeah, what do we got? Each gem is a potion of wonder. That's the idea.
Yeah, basically.
White ghost touch off white run speed. I don't know if you need ghost touch on a gem though. That'd be kind of weird.
Maybe gold restore HP. That makes sense. 1 HP per gold looted. Actually,
So just every time you loot a chest, it's full health again.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Potions are hamp +1 hamp, or hamp ramp and namp. Yeah, it's hamp ramp and namp. That's how I think about it. It's way easier.
Actually, wait, hold on. Maybe those last 3 are the 3 types of healing amp.
Oh, the 3 gems. So the clear white is the healing
Yeah.
amp, the pearl white is the repair amp, and the black is the negative amp.
Yeah. Yeah, because black is negative amp. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That sounds good to me.
All right. God, this is so silly.
This
This
is
is
so dumb.
super. So
This is
this is
so dumb.
ridiculous.
This is the best. Because if
Okay.
somebody goes kobold, they have to take this. Because these last till the end of the dungeon. So do they go away when you die?
No, no. This is a per dungeon experience. It doesn't matter how many times you die.
E-store stuff is like
+1 everything.
+1 everything. It just moves everything up 1. Yeah.
Yeah, everything from above. Just give you all 1 of each.
Cool. We need potions, ammunition, and ingredients. Ammo.
Ammo
Oh,
to
ammo.
me seems
Wait. +1. Returning.
1% returning.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
solid.
know. I'm trying to think of something, but like when you pick up ammo, it increases your returning rate. So if you're playing like a kobold crossbow user and you don't have conjure bolts because you're a pure rogue for some stupid reason, and you're not inquisitive,
Take it from inquisitive. We put it in inquisitive specifically for rogues.
and you're not inquisitive because you don't have it yet.
You put 2
because
points in
you
there.
just started DDO and you bought the new pack and it's update 151, and inquisitive is bad.
I hope at this point, when it's update 151, that they'd be able to try a lovely game, and if possible, if they enjoy it, go the extra mile and purchase the 45-year-old DLC of the Masterminds of Sharn.
I would hope that that's just in the VIP at that point.
After 45 years, we'll get back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Potions, ammunition, ingredients.
So just I don't know, like 1%, 2% returning. I don't know.
What if ammunition was 1% movement speed?
Probably give a lot of ammunition out.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of ammunition.
Yeah. Conjure firebolts from scrolls. Yeah, exactly. You got to use the scrolls of flaming arrow. Oh god. Okay, ingredients and potions. This is the tough part. What are ingredients? What would ingredients give you?
+1 armor class. Easily. Potions.
I don't know why that goes.
+1 save versus spells.
For potions.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know.
We don't have
ideas.
Skills on here.
Potions could be +1 skill chosen randomly.
Oh god. Okay. All right. Oh my god. So you loot a potion. You loot like a chest that's got like 3 potions in it on each one, and you have just all these skills everywhere.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems good to me.
Yeah.
I would never play any of this. But this is eclectic, and I think a way that really works with the idea of a kobold.
Yeah.
Actually,
And I think people are so there are some people that pick Limbo as their Scion feat because they like it when the confetti comes out. And I feel like this hits just that kind of player.
see, like I guess that's one of those things in which I'll be honest, I have a very narrow playstyle when it comes to this game. And while I may not want to experiment with this, I definitely know at least a lot of people that would be like, "Oh wow, you mean I get a lot of collectibles?" Like,
Oh yeah,
no,
right. You
this
don't
is
get a Okay, hold on. Also, the last thing I just realized, buff bar 10 meters long? No, no, no. This has a custom UI element because it's the future. It's
oh yeah, it stacks up like a big pile of treasure.
Yes, you'd have like a treasure pile on it,
Oh
and you
yeah,
could put your mouse over it and it would tell you the bonuses.
yep, that's it.
So I'm just gonna add that in there.
Oh yeah.
Uh, this comes with the custom treasure UI element. You easily track treasure bonuses. Boom.
Boom. All right, I
God,
think
we're
this
so
is
good at
great.
this.
This is great. I can see no way we can possibly improve this.
Yeah, this is literally perfect. So don't even
I
try.
love this. I love there's an entire page of kobold race stuff, and then
Look,
there's a whole tree full of
look,
even more interesting nonsense.
I like that we got all the ideas and we're like, oh no, what do we do?
Now we have 20 ideas that
That
all
never
used.
happens. Okay.
Um,
And you consider humans and music to be annoying, so no bard buffs? Maybe. Kobolds dragon marks? No, unfortunately, kobolds don't get dragon marks. Okay,
yeah, I
so
had everybody Google it.
we are now going to go through the entire tree. So if you missed it from the start, we're going to talk about not tree, but the actual race itself. So number one, kobolds. Obviously, they get their own custom models. They got lots of colors, probably. That represent all the kobolds that we've fought in game and things like that. And the iconic character for the kobold is the iconic shaman. So the kobold shaman is the iconic. So that's why there's no shaman stuff in here. If you're like, where's my lightning bolt? Where's my inflict curse? Where's blindness? We'll figure it out later. The kobold race, as a baseline, gets +2 dexterity, -2 constitution, and -4 strength. Which is kind of problematic because, -4 strength is going to cause a lot of problems for people's carrying capacity. But don't worry, it gets worse. They have an immunity to stench and other sewer-related debuffs. So that's the stench from troglodytes, the filth from some of the times where you step in the muck. It's completely immune to all those different things. They also have a -2 to saves versus fear and a -1 hit and damage versus dragons because kobolds are easily scarable and they don't want to fight dragons. However, because they're small, you can freely walk through monsters due to your size. So you basically just get the ability to walk through everything all the time. You don't have to worry about monsters blocking the way. There may be some quests where monsters are blocking the way intentionally that this could break, but that's okay. In update 151, that will be fixed, so don't worry about that. They're also small, so they get the same size bonuses for being small as other small races. So +1 to armor class, +1 to attack rolls, +4 to hide. Their carrying capacity is 3/4 of that of a medium character, which makes your -4 strength even worse, and -4 penalty to intimidate for the size differences. Kobolds our enemy kobolds will not become hostile to you unless they have been damaged. So if you enter a quest in the harbor and you walk up to some kobolds, they will not aggro you unless you or someone in your party damages them, which has implications that are very short-reaching. They also hold weapons differently. So because they're small, they can't use any two-handed weapons. Two-handed weapons are off of the table, completely out of here, not usable. But one-handed heavy weapons like heavy maces, long swords, and battle axes become two-handed weapons for them, whereas one-handed light weapons become one-handed weapons. So just keep that in mind. On top of that, they can't equip any boots or gloves. Because they're kobolds, they don't like boots and gloves. Instead, they have 2 additional trinket slots. So they get 3 trinkets, but no boots or gloves. So that'd be kind of weird. And then if you are able to choose a religion, then you can choose Dark Six as one of your religious choices, sort of how the Drow get Volkur or the Elves get the Undying Court. For the Dark Six, their favorite weapon is a sickle, so you get Follower of the Dark Six, giving you proficiency with sickles and +1 to hit with them. And then you get Profane Imbuement at level 6, which is you are a devoted follower of the Dark Six, and your faith has been rewarded, and you get a little toggle called Profane Imbuement that gives you +3 to saving throws versus magic. Sickles you wield are considered, or gain +2 to their critical threat range, and are considered two-handed weapons, and you get special animations while using sickles. So they effectively become like scythes for you every time you use them, and they're like special two-handed weapons, when sickles are light weapons, so usually they would be one-handed for the kobold. So that's kind of cool. How do you feel about that base race?
That's so wordy, and I love it. I love the idea that kobolds just have a completely preposterous item layout. Like their gear sets are completely non-transferable. Like they're just not. I love that they have, like, when you think about it, 3 trinkets means that if you're wearing a set that has, like, there are sets with trinkets in them, then you can wear 3 times as many. But the lack of gloves and boots is really debilitating. So it's like you'd really have to retool all of how you think of gearing is hilarious.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good
Um,
gloves and boots in DDI.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good at almost everything at this point. Like there's just a lot of gear to choose from, especially at endgame.
Yeah.
I like that they have an exclusive religion, because that's like, that's always fun to put that additional kind of stuff in.
Yep.
And yeah, that's I think that's great.
Can you swashbuckle with a weapon that kobold wields with 2 hands, but are normally usable with
Yes.
swashbuckling?
Yes, I will say that
Because you don't have
the
anything in
same
your
way that,
offhand.
yes, the same way that Shining Crescents is technically a sickle, even though it fills up both hands. This is kind of how this is going to work, in which it's like, according to the game, you're going to be holding a one-hander, but you just can't put anything in your offhand.
So yeah, you can
And
swashbuckle.
you're held differently. Um,
Sweet. All right, as far as the cores go, as a kobold, you get, for your first core level 1, +1 to sneak attack and damage. This is like a deception bonus, and 5% action boost bonus to movement speed. Then you get dex. Then you get more sneak attack damage and more movement speed at level 7. Level 11, you can get more dex. And level 16, you get more sneak attack damage and more movement speed. This is a passive bonus, so you just always move faster all the time. So that's really exciting. Tier 1, they have, first, Don't Hurt Me, so they get minus to threat reduction from all sources for 3 points. Kobold Expertise, which is their skills, which gives them Open Lock, Disable Device, and Search. Great for if you want to play your rogues or what have you. Then they have a spell-like ability. So they have 3 different spell-like abilities that scale off of the different collectibles you can actually pick up from kobolds. First is the Prayer Breed spell-like ability that lets you cast Prayer as a spell-like ability. This has a material component of the actual collectible, so you have to be picking up collectibles all the time to cast your Prayer spell-like ability, or buying them off the auction house if you want to get them from other players. Then there's Kobold Quickness, 3 points to get +3 to reflex saves, or just sneak attack dice, +1 sneak attack dice. Now moving up to the tier 2, we have Kobold Remembers You, which is that you remember the enemy, the type of enemy that strikes you down, and treat that type of enemy as favorite enemy until you die again. So every time a monster kills you, don't worry, you will come back to get it much harder, or a little bit, depending on what favorite enemy does in update 151. Draconic Scales gives you +2, 4, or 6 natural armor bonus. And now you have your Wooden Idol spell-like ability. So it is, again, it costs a Wooden Idol, which is one of the Kobold collectibles, and to use. And this one gives you a Heal spell-like ability with a 1-minute cooldown. So you cost a Wooden Idol, and also you have to take this out of the tree, and then you get a Heal spell-like ability. Then we have Throw Stance, which is a stance where when you stand within the special stance, I don't know if there's an animation for it or whatever. Kobolds will have unique animations, so it's going to be included. But now your projectiles, doesn't matter what type of weapon you're using, they have that arc that the kobolds use when they throw their satchels at you, the kobold throwers. The downside is that your attacks can no longer use Improved Precise Shot. The upside of this stance is now your attacks will have splash damage, so they'll do AoE when they land, like strike through to all the nearby enemies. How is that going to work? Oh, but that's how it works. And then they have sneak attack dice. Moving up to the tier 3, there is now Pack Tactics. So for each kobold within 30 feet, you gain a +1 bonus to tactical DCs. These other kobolds don't need Pack Tactics, and this includes enemy kobolds. So if you have a 12 kobold raid, and everyone has it, all 12 kobolds have +12 to their tactical DCs. So I have no idea if this is good or not. Do you count as a kobold for this ability?
Yes, you're in a
all
pack
+1.
of just one.
Yeah.
It's a pack of one. It's a
Okay.
small, lonely
So then,
pack.
yes, that would affect you. Then you have Big Sack, which we have to swap the places of these two.
Oh, does it not match up?
It doesn't match up because they got to link it. I'm also going to use color coding. But there's Big Sack, which is the carrying capacity of your kobold is based off of your dexterity instead of being based off of your strength. which is great. I want to put that there. Hold on. I need like an extra space.
Do you want some help with that?
Yes. I don't know why I can't figure this out. I'm stupid.
Okay,
Anyway.
we're just gonna do some. Hold on. Bear with me. We'll put this there. We're gonna put this. We're gonna put this right here.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do one of these, and we're gonna put right there, and we're gonna put like that, and right there, and then we just hit delete, and there you go.
Beautiful. See, this is called teamwork, guys. All right, and then you have the Icon of Kyber spell-like ability. This is your tier 3 spell-like ability. This uses the Icon of Kyber, which is the rare collectible that you pick up from kobolds, and it gives you a dragon form spell-like ability with a 5-minute cooldown. I'm going to assume that this lasts a minute, as it doesn't say here, so it's probably lasts a minute. So you take on the aspect of a dragon and gain significant bonuses. First, you get plus 8 psionic bonus to all stats, and then you gain natural armor, resistance to elements, and spell resistance equal to your level, as well as becoming immune to fear and knockdowns. It's a cool payoff, but it costs an Icon of Kyber, which is a rare component, and it has a 1-minute uptime out of 5 minutes. Very cool. Don't know if overpowered. Find out in...
Maybe anything really. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, find out on Lemania, I guess. Next is the Kobold Special Attack move, which I think is actually a great name for that, because that's what a Kobold would say.
Yes,
like, time for my special attack move! And then do something like that. You can choose one of 3 things. You can either get Alchemist Fire, where you throw an exploding fire potion that deals a d6 fire damage in an area, and then also does damage over time, same d6. So it just explodes and hits all the people in a nearby area. And this fire scales off both fire spell power and 100% range power. So if you get both, it does a whole bunch of extra damage. Then they have Tail Leap, where you dive through enemies in a line and deal damage to them as you attack them. Or you can take Back It Up, where you just jump backwards and it's a cooldown of 4 seconds. So you just jump back all the time. And then finally, Sneak Attack Dice on the tier 3. And now, this is where we move into just the Galaxy Brain stuff that's here. This is tier 4 of the Kobold tree. So this requires 15 points spent in the tree already.
We should just give them for free. These are all perfect. Yeah. Like, I don't know how you'd improve.
So to start out, we have Shinies. This requires Big Sack, so you need to have the extra carrying capacity. And it says, you gain a lingering bonus when you loot items, and this bonus changes depending on the type of the item looted. These bonuses expire upon leaving an adventure. They have no time limit, and they do not go away when you die. And this comes with the custom treasure UI element that makes it easy to track treasure bonuses. So that way you don't have to worry about looking through your buff bar at the top, which in update 151 will be fixed, but even still, they have a special UI element as well. So when you pick up out of a chest gold, you restore health. When you pick up a gem out of a chest, based on the color, red for strength, orange for dexterity, yellow for constitution, green for intelligence, blue for wisdom, or purple for charisma, you gain +1 to that stat. If you happen to pick up a clear white gem, you get +1 to healing amp, a pearl white gem, a +1 to repair amp, and a black gem, a +1 to negative amp. Which already sounds like it would be an impossible nightmare to code. Hilarious. If you pick up any type of ingredient, this is Caneth crafting materials. This is quest crafting materials. Like slave lords materials, something like that. It's +1 armor class. You pick up a scroll. Each scroll is +3 universal spell power. Ammunition is +2% returning bonus to your ranged attacks. Every potion you pick up gives you +1 to a skill rolled randomly upon picking up of a potion. Each piece of clothing or jewelry is +1 to a saving throw, rolled randomly upon picking it up. Weapons are +1 to melee and range power whenever you pick one up. Armor is +1 PRR and MRR. Spell components restore a little bit of spell points when you pick one up. And if you get anything from the store, so if you find a store potion, you get a spell point restoration potion from the store. You get a tome. You get an XP elixir. You get a heart of wood. You get +1 to everything. The whole list just goes up by 1. It counts up by 1. So this is going to make it very exciting to loot every single chest. However, it doesn't just stop there. You can get more shinies, which gives you a % chance to get a bonus collectible when you activate a collectible node, and the % chance is based on your search. So if you have 100 search, you have a 100% chance to get 2 collectibles when you pick a collectible, and if you have over 100, it can wrap around and give you a 3rd collectible, sort of like how Double Shot works. Then we have Yark, which is a buff for all kobolds near you, friend and foe. It buffs enemy kobolds, so this is very difficult for the Update 51 all kobold raid, but that's where we are right now. And it says all kobolds gain a plus 30% action boost bonus to movement speed, and they screech "Yarr!" really loudly and gain a bonus to attack and damage equal to your dexterity modifier. Big numbers. I believe this is for a duration that we don't have on here.
Oh yeah, it definitely lasts at some point, maybe.
Then you have evasion, where you get evasion. However, it's required to get the sneak attack dice that is right next to it, and then you have sneak attack dice. So, the tree. How do you feel about this tree after rehearing it and re-seeing it again?
It's actually came together a lot more cohesive than I thought. Like, it's actually painting a pretty good narrative of what a kobold would look like.
Yep.
In which you might use your abilities to get through combat quicker, and even skipping encounters entirely if they're made out of kobolds. Just simply loot the chests for everyone else, and then circle back around and meet up with your friends.
This also is kind of interesting to me. So the shinies effect seems kind of bad, but now the more that I think about it, if you play on like Reaper 10, every time you find one of those like champions that you get a champ chest out of, you're just all of a sudden getting like powered up. So at the beginning of a quest, you have a kobold that's like, you know, it's like weak and with minus all strength. And by the end of the quest, they're just like running around with like plus 15 to all stats and can do anything. I don't think that would happen because it's horribly random.
I think there are some dungeons in which kobolds are going to be very good, and some dungeons in which you should not take them there.
Yeah.
That's like, which I think is fun. I think going into this, what I really wanted out of the entire kobold experience was the fact I wanted kobolds to play and to be played completely differently than any other like non-monster race.
Yeah.
And this almost certainly succeeds in every single aspect.
It's completely different.
Yeah, you gear them differently, you play them differently, and I think that's really what I was looking for. That's what my goal was, and I'm really happy with how this came out, actually.
Oh, no shoes or gloves, only trinkets. Can they use 3 trinkets? Yeah, you use 3 trinkets because there's 3 different slots. Just think about item slots on your character sheet. Instead of shoes and gloves, which are the 2 bottom ones, you would just have extra trinkets at the top. What an idea.
It's perfect. Yeah, Irestone Anglet, love it. Like, it's just, it works perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. I love this tree. This is super fun. This is completely different than I first imagined it when I closed my eyes. But there's, I'm gonna be honest, I would just play a kobold, just have shinies. No, like for real. If that was in the game, I would totally do that because it's just fun, especially at the low levels where you're just always picking up stuff, and then you get annoyed that spell components are like you're like, oh, I got to pick up these paladin spell components. I hate this. Now you just load it up and boom, you get all your mana back.
Yeah,
this is great.
Yeah, this is really cool. Like, it's just, I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I do really like the idea that in update 151 we don't have a solution for spell components in chess.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, it's actually gotten worse in update 150 because we've introduced at this point every single other spellcasting class.
Yeah, we've got druids and alchemists now. Actually, I don't think alchemist spell components drop in chess. I don't think they do.
That would make sense. That does seem like something we would just forget how to do.
Yeah.
No, I recently had to go through our like generic shared treasure stuff like way back in because I'm sure you knew I'm actually revamping all the Seal Scroll Shard stuff.
Mhm.
And oh, it's crunchy in there. But now they drop less things. So
Yeah. They talk about alignment and class restriction. It's a race, so there's no alignment or class restriction. And also, Sharn doesn't have trinkets. I'm not sure what you mean by Sharn trinkets. There were no trinkets released in the Sharn expansion.
that's true. There just aren't.
If your whole party passes you loot, oh god. Okay, now that's a problem.
I like that because the corollary is also true in that like they wouldn't do that if they were kobolds themselves. You know what I mean? So like the idea of a kobold player being like, "Give me the spell components, just give them to me, give them to me." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they basically want to get everything. They want to get all the shinies.
Yeah, which would facilitate like that would facilitate situations in which you would actually have a kobold player badgering other players to pass them things like gems that they just left in the chest.
Oh my god, they're actually like, yo, I need the gems. Give me the gems.
Buddy, I need this gem. Pass this gems right now. Like, you gotta put those gems. Give this to me.
And then everyone has to click the thing and go through the menu, and people are like, I don't want to deal with this.
Could you imagine if there were 2 kobolds in the same party and they both were like, "Hey, can you give me the gems?" Like, no, give the gems to me. Like, you gotta give the gems to me. I need them more. You know what I mean?
That's great. I love that idea.
Yeah, the more I look at this, the better this is the better this is turning out.
Yeah, the longer this exists, it's like, but it's like all of the trees we made. That at first you're like, this is okay, and then you're like, this is genius. That we're geniuses.
I
Yeah.
can't help it. I feel like our partnership together, Strimtom, you just bring out the creativity.
Hmm.
And it's just definitely not that Kobold just has a lot of really weird nonsense that you can glue together. And
Well, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Um, I have no original ideas. I just steal everything from chat and then give them no credit. So
solid, solid.
that's how it works.
Will it be new trinkets that only work for kobolds? No. Actually, wait. By that time, we'll probably have race and class items, so almost assuredly. But
Yeah, in like 40 years from now.
40 years from now, you heard it here first.
Oh, that's good. Cool. Well, yeah, that's good. Did you wanna stick around for a bit, or you gotta go? I know it's like 9 o'clock. So.
I can stick around for a few minutes if anyone has any like any burning questions they'd like to ask me or any suggestions or thoughts or stuff. If you want to do an outro first, though. Um,
Oh yeah, do an outro. Thank you for watching Dungeons and Developer Insights episode. I forget the number of the episode. If you need to watch some more and you want to see it live, make sure to check out twitch.tv/Strimtom when the time is posted. If you're like, but I don't know when the show is going to be, you gotta follow me on Twitter. You gotta look at the YouTube channel. I post ahead of time when the shows are gonna be, little like visual icons. This is the best way to do it. Links will all be below. And of course, if you're interested and you want to learn more about what Linabelle here is doing, you can follow Linabelle on Twitter as well. There'll be a link below. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a fantastic time. This was great. I love this character race.
yeah, it's just pretty much exactly what I think everyone expected.